Here we are again, Robin.
Here we are.
Tony, what a wonderful introduction. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I hope you're here instead of grabbing something to eat. I truly appreciate that. It's 5 past 12. Very nice to be here with you again, Robin. I am the founder and CEO of Besser werden. It's a movement, it's a podcast, translates, as Tony pointed out, in English to becoming better. And sitting in front of me is Robin Karakash, as Tony mentioned, former vice president of Mozilla Firefox. Also, several other experiences that shaped this man in the past, made him the person he is. But what you will not see when you go on Robin's LinkedIn profile is something that we will talk about today. Today, as you see here, it's about the big elephants in the room. And in a way, Robin's life story is like a micro version of these big elephants, shaped by narrative changes. When everything felt safe and cozy, things have happened that led to massive disruption in Robin's life. And as you know, the last couple of weeks have been marked by Epstein files and all kinds of disruptive changes, global instability. All of us are talking about AI and what's going to do. We know so many people that are super afraid of losing their jobs. So those are the elephants that are in the room, but still, we just sit here. I mean, now it's different, but mostly we just go on with our lives. Many of us have families. We lead people. We just pretend nothing is happening out there. So today's about addressing those elephants. But before we get into that, Robin, how are you today?
I'm super excited to be here. I slided into this building. It was icy outside. It's snowy, so I was a little bit ice skater this morning. And there's a lot of yes energy. I think we are in this year of the fire horse. I don't know if you've heard it. Chinese Lunar New Year was yesterday. So
are you coming with this tinfoil stuff again?
I am. So no tinfoils, but it's like there's new energy happening. And for me personally, this year is about saying yes to new things. And I said yes to be here. I've never been to the e-commerce stage. I've never done a live podcast in my life. Can you imagine? So happy to be here and talk to you and to the audience about big elephants.
I love that. Saying yes to a lot of things. You've been saying yes to a lot of things, Robin, that I've been asking you, and I'm truly delighted and privileged, I feel, that you're sitting in front of me right now. And you talked about what's the Chinese year of horse or something?
Fire horse.
Fire horse. What does that mean, actually?
I have no idea. What it says, I mean, we're all on fire. But no, what it really says, everything is accelerating.
Yeah.
So I think we all feel the energy right now. It's not only because of AI, but the world is just accelerating.
Yeah.
And I think, and the question is, how do we deal with this? So I think that's a perfect symbol of what's happening out there. So that's why it kind of resonated with me, to saying, like, listen, there's everything is just feels like a race. And the question is, does it really have to feel like one?
Robin, something happened to you that shaped your mindset, shifted your mindset drastically. You had an immensely successful career working at Coca-Cola, working at big companies, shaping brands and narratives around companies like BMW, Motorrad, Airbnb, ASICS, and so on and so forth. All these campaigns that we've seen. You are a mastermind of narratives. But I want to focus on your personal narrative today. And 2025, Your picture was on Times Square as the most successful, as the marketeer of 2025. But at the same time, something else happened. We will get to that point. This is like the peak.
Right.
But before that, so many other things happened. Take us to this journey for the next couple of minutes.
Well, as life is, it's crazy and it's a roller coaster. And I think we all think sometimes life is linear and it's working out the way you think you set your own story. And my story is like, I'm good at a certain kind of thing, which was working with language, operating with people, and I moved into organizations in the marketing sphere. I had a great time, worked for amazing brands, helped to shape the storylines, developed, global work, and it was only going up. And that was my narrative. Oh my God, the world is an amazing place, and I can lead, I can be in this corporate world, and it's a hard world, but somehow I can operate and I can navigate, right? So, and I just got a big promotion. I was the first guy of Mozilla Firefox who was elevated from a European perspective into the global extended executive team.
The only European executive.
The only one. So I was an elephant in the room, right? So I was like, somehow I was, there comes Robin, like the elephant from Europe, and disrupts kind of the idea of disruption and bringing new perspectives onto the table. And then the disruption happened to me. So from one day I was promoted. I thought I had everything. It's great. I celebrate.
First of all, before you come to that, how did it feel? Because you've worked very hard, man, to get there. How did it feel when this promotion happened? You are the vice president of Mozilla Firefox. How many billions of people use this browser anyway? Just how does it feel?
I feel like, I don't know how you all feel in the room and out there, but there's a career narrative that a lot of us live. Like it needs to be the next step. It needs to be higher. It needs to have more responsibility. And I was in this narrative, and I felt like I have to be there. I have to do this. So I think it changed me and my perspective on myself, because I had a lot of things that I didn't do anymore privately. It comes with a price, like family, time, your body. You don't go to the gym anymore because you're traveling all the time. So it felt like a reward. I made it, so I was super happy. I'm like, you get the promotion, you get the recognition, but you also have so much more responsibility all of a sudden. And you have so much more expectations. It gets very, the higher you get, the not only closer the people get in that sense, the circle narrows. It gets kind of, how do I say this? It gets kind of rocky potentially, and you can see it when you open the door and you're part of this team and you're even more responsible. Can be tough, but at that moment I felt like, yes, that was my yes energy, right? The moment I said, you made it, I felt great.
I love it. And then?
And then I had some body issues, symptoms, and then I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, check this out, you go into an MRI. Didn't tell me what that means, and I'm like, MRI, I've never been, sick, really, and then, or just minor sicknesses. And I went into the MRI, and, supposed to get a CD back, didn't get a CD back, and then the doctor says, come into my room. I see the doctor, and the doctor says, can you please sit down? I'm like, yes. We found something. And that was just like weeks after I got promoted, and I was in this great space. And I'm like, what do you mean you found something? And like, we found a tumor in your brain. I'm like, what? Like, you couldn't even believe it. Like in my cockpit. Everything that's in here, everything that manifests, it's in this.
Maybe you were so successful because of this tumor.
Yeah, maybe.
How long has
this
thing been there,
Yeah, it's like, okay, so what the hell? What are you telling me? And then he scribbles the name.
What's the first feeling? You're like,
what?
Holy
shit. I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm not expecting, like, of all things I expected, this was the one thing I didn't expect. I'm like, what? So, it felt unreal, full stop. And then he said something, it's like, at the end, it's like, I'm very sorry. And I'm like, so I came out as this is the end. That's how I left.
But why would you say, I'm sorry, like
I don't
it's so
know.
bad. Like what are you supposed to feel there, you know?
I'm like, no, and then it goes so fast, and I couldn't even, I had to take a picture of the diagnosis because I couldn't understand the name because, everybody or anybody who has worked with doctors, they speak their own language, and I didn't speak that language yet, right? And I still don't, but you have to learn that. So that narrative broke overnight. So it's successful, and suddenly you're a sick person. So new journey starts, and how do you deal with that?
Does that like destroy the whole feeling of success?
Oh, it was like it's a total reset. It's a total like zigzag moment. I call these zigzag moments, and I noticed that we never talk about these out there. So I was there with my diagnosis, and I didn't know where to go. I just had a doctor who said, "I'm sorry," and we're like, "Okay, sorry." And now, what are you gonna do? And that's why I'm also here on the stage, because it's like, let's normalize these things, because I would swear a lot of people here in the room have been or have family members who are going through similar things, right?
You didn't know it's okay not to be okay.
No, I didn't. I developed that. So I didn't give me the permission, because I was in the first moment to say it's okay, and it's okay to be not okay.
Yeah.
As a leader, like ask any leader in the room, like if you show weaknesses, if you show, vulnerability, which I believe is such a strong leadership suit,
Yeah.
and openness as well, and that's why I'm advocating to becoming better around that
I love
is
it,
so
man.
important.
Yeah. I mean, like, what many people don't realize, it's a journey to get there, to feel it's okay not to be okay.
100%. And it's a permission. It's a permission that you need, and it's a starting point. I think once you go through that change, rapid change, and I think that's what I would say. It's this acceptance of it's okay. And just getting there, unfortunately, if I'd known this, just took me 4 or 5 months to be like accepting that I needed a different kind of story for myself, and I'm in a different space.
So for me, that the most important question is, there's a narrative change. Like you cannot live in the conditions of your narrative from the past, because that was a different narrative, right? So your narrative was, it's always going up. Like, what's next? Am I becoming CEO? Am I being CEO of something? What's next?
Yeah.
In that sense. But then this shook you so hard.
It absolutely shook you to the core, because I think society has not prepared us for this narrative.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm so advocating for a different narrative when it comes to mental health, when it comes to any kind of sicknesses, especially in organizations. So I like to work in saying this and normalize that.
Yeah.
Because we all have something. Let's just talk about it. We don't have to be betroffen, which is always like, oh my God, it's so hard. Yes, it's hard.
Yeah.
But let's build the language and the story around it that embraces that as well.
Yeah. The only reason why I did this panel, like this live interview, is that you would stop using English words during German talks. But now you're using German words in English.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Betroffen, like affected. I love it, man.
Yes.
So I remember you told me the primary feeling you had back then was shame.
Yes.
Describe that, please.
Shame. I think it's a driver we also do not talk too much about. It's that very powerful feeling of not thinking you are good enough for certain kind of things, or people will judge you for what you are.
Yeah.
And it's a powerful thing, when you're this invincible leader who people rely on you and the organization relies on you, and you suddenly become this sick guy.
Yeah.
Who are you? Are you still productive? Are you still, and also privately, Like the roles I'm playing in my private life for my friends, my families, for my partner is like, I cannot play that role anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck. Sorry. But it's like, what role do I need to play? It's unclear, you know. But that's a starting point. It's like if you accept that this exists and say it's okay, and you acknowledge and be more tuned in to you, and that's the journey, right? That was the journey. It's like listening to your body, listen to yourself a little bit more, you hear new things.
That, fortunately, you healed.
Yes.
And then at some point, you were back at work and you were more successful than ever.
The team was there, everything was ready. I was like, I'm
back to the original narrative, I guess.
kind of in a changed way. I
Yeah.
think I changed the perspective because taking care of yourself was a change. Like like health and being well became a primary focus, which I didn't have.
Okay.
So that's. But coming back, everything was great. You're amazing. Everything is working. We have big campaigns coming up. The team is settled in. And then, out of the blue, as life goes, and that narrative is now predominant in lots of organizations, restructure.
But first, you had the good news.
First, I had the bad news.
Ah, okay.
That's
So
it. Yeah.
you got
You got
restructured.
I got restructured. I'm like, thank you for your services. We and a lot of people of your team need to let go. We need to let you go. So everything you built, basically, everything is the European operations. Like, let's reshuffle all of this.
Okay, Robin, here it is. You got restructured.
Right.
What the heck are you thinking? What's the first thought?
It was the first thought is like the same kind of like shock curve. You know the shock curve, right? It's like it can happen. Like this
Yeah,
is this is not real. The second one is like right. So no way.
It doesn't feel like justice.
No, it's just what are you doing? It doesn't make sense. Like where's this? There's no logic in this. And then you go into this kind of deep depression. Why me? What did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Why? What is it? Me? I'm the fault? Like, and then you come out of this and you're like, but listen, there might be an opportunity here.
Oh.
And I think everybody who will go through transformation change, and a lot of us will be affected. I think there is like, how do I deal with this change curve?
And that is exactly the reason why I said your life is like this micro version of what we're living through with these elephants. Because at the same time, when you're living through all these negative emotions, you also had something super positive that happened, which was you being nominated as and being awarded the prize of being the best marketer 2025. Your picture is on Times Square. It's now like, let's zoom out from you for a second.
Yeah.
Because you've learned, right? I hope. And so you've learned from all this. Now, when you look at what's happening today, there are lots of elephants in the room. I talked about the global scale. And what I think is the primary thing that's happening is there's an erosion of trust. We don't know what's fact anymore. We don't know what to believe. We have so much information. It's like everyone has their own version of facts, which are then no facts. I have the feeling that tools are getting smarter. AI, Malte just talked about it on the main stage. But at the same time, the human element is getting more important than ever because all of us are just like looking for this trust, which eroded. All of us are looking for this kind of feeling of orientation. We're losing orientation. How do you see the current state of things? And let's transfer some of your learnings into what's happening today.
I think what I'm seeing is, and this is a saying that I incorporate, in the absence of facts, emotions reign. So if you only live in without facts, and we're currently living in a world where you don't know what's fact, what's reality, what's artificial, what's manufactured. We are living in the most, I would say, emotional state right now, all our emotions are being triggered at the hardest. And I think the algorithms and the social media and all of these kind of things live off of it
Yeah.
and feed it into this. So, you swipe up and down, you live in that emotional sphere of the dopamine rush every day, right? And you see a world that is becoming fragmented through your lens, individuality. So the question is, how do we build trust as a community if we're all rushed into only living here? Which is great, being like an emotional state is wonderful, but we need to come back to
Yeah.
how do we manifest trust? And manifest trust is coming through agreeing on facts again, and finding out what's really happening on this one.
That's a great goal. But then you also have the problem that many of our role models, people we've been looking up to, turned out to be something very different than what we thought. So that's like a massive blow.
Right.
To build that again is like the curve. First, we have to, I would say, first we have to go through that disappointment and then feel it and understand, wow, that's a black swan. I didn't see that coming. But then again, whoop, get back up, build trust again.
And go back to yourself. So it's like, imagine in this world where AI now comes in, what skill set do I have? Who am I right now in this artificial world?
Yeah.
What makes me tick? Who am I out of my role as a leader, as somebody who has to evaluate new stories and new narratives in their life? I think there's an opportunity to start with yourself and with that journey within you, right? And start with building that trust that you've got this. Because I'm also an executive coach, so I've seen a lot of people, and there's statistic around fear. There's so much fear out of, am I still valuable? I'm overwhelmed with what I'm doing. I'm imposter syndromes and all these kind of things. If we can start talking and naming these elephants a little bit
That's
more.
what I'm feeling when I'm sitting in front of you.
It's a big
I have
elephant.
such imposter syndrome. Why are you even talking to me, Robin? I mean, like, I know exactly what you mean because those feelings are, in essence, I got inspired because, like, even AI is relying on these trust signals that Malte also talked about it. It's like AI is not just randomly, like, let's say, think of e-commerce, it's not randomly choosing products for us. It's taking a look at these signals. There's a lot of noise, yeah? And then these signals are super valuable. And as people, we also look for these signals. The more noise, the more the search for signals. You know what I mean?
And connection, I would say.
Connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I liked what Malte said with age commerce.
Yeah.
And I think we're in this age where we need to redefine what humanity actually means.
Yeah.
Which is, if you look at it, can be scary, but could also be an opportunity, bringing us closer together.
Yeah.
Right? It's not only the big scary thing that's happening, but it's like, who can you trust? How do you build these trust systems? How do you build these connections?
I love it. But then still we have the problem. All of this sounds so theoretical. I mean, we have wonderful people here sitting in front of us. They see elephants that we might not even realize. Where do we start, Robin? Where do we start this transition?
I would say two words here. One is courage. I think it needs courage, and it starts with the individual.
Yeah.
To stand up and address these elephants. And the second one is something that I live by or try as a leader is clarity is kindness. On the way here, I was talking to my friend Seta, and she was like, she was talking about someone in an organization saying, "Hey, I don't get any feedback. It's everything is nebulous. From I don't get any clarity. I don't know where I stand." And I think as leaders
Wow.
in any organization, it's our job to address, have the courage to say, "I don't know," and provide the clarity where we stand.
If I may add on to that, if you don't have clarity, be upfront enough or honest enough, guys, we got to figure this out first. And because we do kind of come from this culture where leaders have been kind of expected to know everything always, it's not gonna hold, because most leaders will eventually be super confused. I mean, they're also people, they're also living through these times. In a podcast recently with the supervisory board member of SAP, one of the, like, Germany's top software company on the entire world platform, she said that we talked about the fact that no one knows anything. Also, the co-founder of Netflix said the same, Mark Randolph. When you're listening to people giving you advice, be mindful, because there are times of disruption where no one knows anything. And there, it's about asking the right questions instead of pretending that you know the answers.
I absolutely couldn't agree more. That's why, my values is curiosity, right? So I learned it. I thought always as a leader, I have to know it all. No.
Yeah.
There's a power of not knowing anything. And being aware that you don't know. Like, that's important, right?
Yeah.
And then, and then the second thing is altitude, right? Seeing the patterns and understand the pattern recognition and what's going on, and understanding you in that pattern.
Yeah.
And that's very powerful.
And then also, up until now, you and I have been talking about the external world, external factors that shape us. I wrote in the Besser werden Weekender newsletter once about the journey that shaped me. I try to reflect a lot. I mean, obviously, I'm trying. We are all trying. And one of the biggest reflections was how I define success, how I define my value as a person. The older version of me defined success and value. I was not only valuable as much as I was successful. What was success? Maybe financial means, titles, and all these things. When you look at most of us in this room, even, we are still heavily relying on these external factors to define who we are, or who we are to become. Something tells me we do have to go back inside and try to figure out what is our intrinsic motivation, what is important to us intrinsically. Do you have some thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I think going back to the elephant in the room, I would say there is an opportunity to address your personal elephant first.
Yeah.
What's holding you back? And you talked about, are you clear about yourself, your values, what's driving you?
Yeah.
Are you externally motivated by certain kind of things that might be changing? Are you curious enough what's happening out there? Are you informed enough? And I would say, stop the fear, because fear is blocking you, and fear is taking over. Like, I can tell you from being sick and from the changes of disruption, they happen to all of us. If I would say, go back to your story, write your narrative in the way that you feel you can hold on it. And my mantra, as you know, is own your narrative and get to that space where you feel secure and where you can start from.
Robin, that's a beautiful way to end this very short conversation. Own your narrative. Thank you so much for being with me again on this platform at the E-commerce Berlin Expo, where I have had the pleasure to be part of this wonderful event for the last so many years. And I'm looking forward to our next talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Bud.